It's good to be back again after a hiatus of several years, and I'll be presenting this, I guess, relatively new deposit to everyone. In terms of our company structure, well, firstly the highlights. It's mainly 3 deposits at Laverton, which have grown to 1.8 million ounces, average grade around 1.7. But the primary deposit within those is the Lady Julie North 4 deposit, and that's 1.7 million ounces at 2 grams. Sorry, 1.49 at 2 grams. So that's the main thing we'll be talking about. This morning we published an updated economics study to take into account an increase of 540,000 ounces over the last 4 months. And those economics are exceptional. You can see the NPV at 920 million, ASIC 1.49 billion, and payback within 1 year. So we'll talk more about that, but they're the main highlights. And also our ability to expand these as well. Yeah, so the company listed in 2007. I've kept the company structure extremely tight. You can see there's only 258 million shares. Our share performance this year has been very, very good, currently trading at $1.55. I guess our announcement this morning was looked at very favourably. Cash position around 8.5, 9 million, and market cap closer to 400 million today. We are a bit unusual in that we don't have the high, we mainly have high net worth investors as shareholders. The top 4 own 45%, the top 20 own 71%. Our institutional and gold fund shareholders having obviously increased over the last 6 months, and we look forward to their participation. Yeah, so people hopefully know where Laverton is. And there are 3 main deposits, Lady Julie North 4, Lady Julie Central and HM9. We do have other small deposits, but we're mainly focused on the Laverton project. So this is a bit of a summary on the main deposits in the area. You can see there's some really big ones. The Wallaby deposit, 7 million ounces, Sunrise Dam, 16 million, and a number of other ones, both historically and current. We happen to be finding these ounces directly or very close to existing operations. The Genesis Mount Morgan's operation, they're on care and maintenance, and the goldfields at Granny Smith. In both cases, we believe that there's a chance they'll be interested in our project. They have been in our data room for a while, and at the same time we're increasing the size of what we have. So we think there's synergy there, but we are also pursuing the standalone operational part of it. On this slide, it might be pointed out there's a structure called the chatterbox here, and my interpretation of it starts at Wallaby, goes through our Lady Julie North 4 deposit, goes through an Apollo deposit all the way to Beasley Creek. So it's a 32-kilometre structure, and that structure is a very good mineralising structure, and we'll be talking about that a bit further. This is a bit of a composite map. It's a long section through Lady Julie North 4. The figure on the right-hand side is a gram metre map. It's actually true width. And it's quite an interesting way of presenting. It shows the continuity of the Lady Julie North 4 deposit, but it also shows these 2 main shoots. The contours here are exceptional, and I need to emphasise that our intersections are substantial. They're not isolated high-grade things. We often get intersections between 10, 20, 60, and some even over 100 metres. So they're very thick intersections, and that's why we see gram thicknesses. The orange contour is 50, red is 100, goes up to 200. Now there's a pit on that diagram, and that's the one that we've used in the economic study that was just put out. And I do note in the economic study that was put out, it was only about the open pit. We have not included any of the underground, which you can see on the northern end. The Lady Julie North 4 deposit is strongly altered, and it's actually seems to be zoned. On the northern end we have strong ultramafic alteration. Often the ultramafic goes from black, gets altered, gets solidified, goes grey, and then ultimately turns into this bright green fuchsite alteration. And when we see that, the grades often averages between 2 and 6 grams, but substantial thicknesses between 20 and 30 metres. So it's a very consistent zone, and it gives us the confidence to keep drilling. There's currently 2 rigs there drilling down to 600 and 700 metres, and we're looking forward to seeing those green cores coming up, because that's a good indicator. On the left-hand side of that chart, we have a chart showing the ounces per vertical metre, and you can see there's some very high numbers from around 30 metres to 400. The average is 3,700, and then internally there's a 4,700 average. So these numbers are exceptional, and that leads on to the numbers we're getting out of our PFS study. This is another resource slide showing the increase in the grade, and the addition of the 500,000 ounces. Sorry. Over the last 2 years, we've seen the ounces grow from 0.1 up to 1.5 million ounces, and that's mainly due to the drilling at Lady Julie North 4. I'll be showing a couple more slides showing you why we think that'll keep going, that rate of increase. Yeah, so we have a cross-section showing the resource in the top 400 metres up to, with some intersections down to 500 metres. We have a hole going down to 800 metres. If that comes in, then that will upgrade the resource as well. Recently we acquired the land directly east, and that was to cover the possibility that this kept going. And the seismic work that we did 2 years ago verifies that the structure itself does go down to that depth, and we will keep pursuing it to see how far it goes. The next part is mainly about the economic study. So these are the outstanding results we published this morning. EBITDA 1.49 billion, NPV 925, plant capacity, metallurgical recoveries are all good, total production are around over 100,000 ounces per year, all in sustaining cost of 1.3. So it all looks pretty good, and payback is in 12 months. This shows the layout of the proposed mining operation. The Lady Julie North 4 is clearly the main centre. You can see it in yellow. The pit itself will be 1 kilometre long by 800 metres wide, up to 300 metres deep. The main processing plant is just south of there, with the tailings dam to the west and the waste in that further west. But you can see the Lady Julie Central and the HN9 deposits. Lady Julie Central is proposed to be mined first, because the grade starts from surface. We've been getting grades like 20 metres to 4 grams from surface, so clearly that'll pay for the strip of the 30 metres of transported material over the Lady Julie North 4 deposit. This gives you a bit of an indication on the profile of the ounces per year. You can see within year 3, post year 3, it will be over 100,000 ounces per year. We do expect, this is just the open cut production scenario, there will be other ounces eventually coming from the underground. This is a bit of a benchmarking against, I guess, the average ounces for some of the operations in WA. We're second on the average grade, you can see there. We appear to be top in terms of the internal rate of return, which we published today. You can see these AISC costs are quite modest, looks quite good, and the capex per ounce as well. So it's a very, I guess it's a pretty good deposit, and we'll keep having a crack at it. The main thing that we've been doing is drilling down dip, and we've been very successful. I guess in the southern zone we see multiple lodes, and that's where we see these increased thicknesses. The deposit does vary, as we discussed, but that's the main thing that we've been doing. In terms of our study, the mining overview, you can see the number of tonnes produced, are all summarised here quite well. And the processing, so there'll be a total of about 130 people on site, conventional mining, both gravity and CIP circuits, and you can see as well the layout. So this is our PFS, which we're updating in our next journey, when we believe we'll be completing our feasibility by the end of the year. ESG, we've been pretty careful in planning this. So the Lady Julie Central pit will be mined first. So the tailings will go into that pit. Solar power and hybrid power is also important, where we think we can maximise, I guess, the energy saving by running it mainly during the day. We do have a lot of local groups that we could use, and we're hoping this becomes an important part of what we do in the future. This development timetable is sort of preliminary, but it gives you a bit of an idea where we're heading. If we did go into production, we'd be in production by early 2026. But in the meantime, there's mining proposals, more mining lease applications, native title agreements to be completed, and obviously part of our definitive studies being completed by the end of the year. So in summary, we've been drilling this high-grade open pit with some outstanding results. You can see by the average grades that it compares extremely favourably. A very low cost development with amazing economics. We still keep drilling this, and we're supremely encouraged by the thicknesses and the grades and the alteration that we see. And we will pursue mainly drilling that area. There will be some other areas that we might test, but Lady Julie North Four is the main game. We're adjacent to multiple production hubs, and we'll definitely pursue those opportunities as best we can. And thanks very much.